So today, my boyfriend, who please confirm to me, you've never. Well, first of all, you don't give a shit about Jojo. Is that correct?
No, I don't know what. I think that was a cartoon when I was growing up about a clown.
Yeah, something like that. And so I'm gonna give him plot points. I've written down 5 plot points from each part through part 4 because that's as far as has been animated. Part 5 coming soon. And he's gonna tell me which ones are real and which ones are I'm making up. So, spoilers ahead, obviously, because I'm going to be covering plot points from each part. So, you ready, boyfriend?
I'm ready.
My phone just vibrated. Hang on, I'm not ready. So, your first plot point is this. Dio's father, Dario, comes across a wrecked carriage of George Joestar and begins to scavenge it, thinking the passengers have died. George regains consciousness and assumes Dario is trying to save him. He says he owes Dario his life and will do him a favor. As Dario is dying of illness years later, he sends his son, Dio, to live with the Joestars. Is that true or false?
That sounds like the plot of something to me.
Yeah, okay, so like the main idea is Dario, who's like this nasty old man, he's like, you know, like a crazy old guy. Real or fake?
I'm gonna say that one's probably real.
You are absolutely correct. Dario is a nasty old man, and Dio is his nasty old son.
He's like Mario, but eviler.
Yeah, the D stands for Dinas. Anyway, second plot point. Ready?
I'm ready.
Dio and Jonathan, George's blood son, become great friends. Throughout their years together growing up, Dio saves Joseph's dog, helps him meet the love of his life, Arena Pendleton, and the two have become the most successful rugby players at their school. However, as Jonathan's wedding with Arena approaches, Dio slowly starts to become frustrated and eventually angry with Jonathan, as he feels he's not respected enough by George and he doesn't see himself as a true son. Is that real or fake?
That sounds like something out of Mean Girls or something. I don't know. That's a little too high school drama for me. It doesn't sound like English men. I'm gonna say that one's fake.
You're absolutely correct. Actually, what happens is Dio hates him immediately. He kills his dog, steals Arena's first kiss before Jonathan can receive it, and beats the shit out of him with goons he got from being popular in their school.
Well, you don't see that in Mean Girls.
Number 3. Dio uses a stone mask owned by George Joestar to kill himself and become a vampire. After this, he raises several undead to fight Jonathan. Is that real or fake?
Well, I think that's the plot of Son of the Mask, so fake?
Nope, that's real. Dio,
what?
He has his like old Aztec stone mask, and when you spill blood on it, a bunch of like tendrils come out and like impale your head from the sides, and if you're like too weak, then you die. But Dio is a man of strong will, and so he survives, and he basically becomes unto a god, you know?
Well,
so so Dio's now a vampire. Very gay buff vampire. It's pretty great. Jonathan meets
Gil Antonio Zappelli,
named after the band Led Zeppelin, an unorthodox priest who guides Jonathan towards an ambiguous higher power, which remains unnamed, in order to defeat Dio, the vampire, because, you know, holy power beats vampires. Is that real or fake?
So he meets this dude who teaches him to be a little religious disciple-y dude so he can kill a vampire?
Yes, he's an unorthodox priest. Unorthodox, not unorthodox.
And you said the last one was real, right?
Yes.
Then I guess this one sounds pretty real to me.
Nope, this one is fake. He actually teaches him, Caesar Capelli, he actually teaches him how to control his breathing with a method called hamon, which sends ripples through your body in an energy that mimics the sun, which is, you know, how they're going to fight Dio the vampire, because vampires hate sun. You know?
So instead of like doing some Christian shit and Bibling him or doing holy water or whatever that shit is, they harness the power of the sun.
Yeah, also I just remembered his name isn't Caesar Zappelli. Caesar Zappelli's from part 2, and I'm an idiot. Now I have to find the actual name because people would be mad at me if I get it wrong. Dio is thought to be killed by Jonathan, but he later comes back as a severed head. He finds Jonathan on a boat with Irina, as they've just been married and they're going on their honeymoon. Dio burns the boat down, kills Jonathan, and fuses with Jonathan's body to become whole again. He then locks himself in a coffin that falls to the bottom of the ocean. Is that true or false?
You said that started with someone coming back as a severed head?
Yeah, Dio.
I'm gonna say that's false.
Nope, it's completely correct.
Fuck off.
Yeah, out of that, you got, like, 3 out of 5 correct, I think? Or it's either 2 or 3 out of 5. Either way.
So what's my grade in anime class?
I love you out of 10.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Robert E.O. Speedwagon, or R.E.O. Speedwagon, a thief who Jonathan previously converted to the side of good back in part 1, has become a billionaire, or millionaire, I don't know, he's just very rich. During an excavation in Mexico, he finds a massive statue carved into the wall of a cave, including several stone masks identical to the mask Dio used to become a vampire. Is that true or false?
Sure, why not? Let's give this guy a chance. I think that sounds right.
Yes, that is correct. Next. Joseph Joestar, the grandson of Jonathan Joestar, meets a little African-American kid on the streets of New York who is about to get brutalized by some police officers for stealing Joseph's wallet. Joseph intervenes and breaks one of the officer's fingers by using Hamon to fizz up a bottle of Coke he was holding. The kid's name, by the way, is Smokey Brown, which is a pretty very black name. I guess Iraqi doesn't really... He doesn't have the diversity thing.
No, he's related to the bear.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Anyway, is that real or fake?
Well, it started to sound like you were about to do a prank on me by making this a Will Smith thing, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but then you didn't do that, so I'm gonna say this one's real.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Joseph Joestar is the grandson of Jonathan Joestar, who died in the boat, but Irina was pregnant already. She's alive, by the way. Jonathan saved her. And she also saved a little girl whose parents had died or something. Anyway, so yes, you're correct.
Thank you, boyfriend.
Okay, Joseph learns about Speedwagon's discovery through Mr. Roboto, an advanced automaton created by the Speedwagon Foundation. However, Mr. Roboto's code was actually tampered with by the temptation of the masks, and he'd killed Speedwagon and his crew before coming all this way, and intended to kill Joseph as well, because Joseph could be a threat to the beings inside the statue. Is that real or fake?
The robot did all of this.
Yes, Mr. Roboto. He's an advanced automaton who was constructed by the Speedwagon Foundation, which is REO Speedwagon's company.
And the mask hacked the robot.
I mean, it's like anime bullshit where it's like, oh, it used its draw to mess with the mechanics of the machine or whatever.
Well, now you've revealed to me that this is the correct plot point.
Actually, no, it's fake.
What?
Yeah, what actually happens is it's basically the same thing, except for it's Strizo, a human-turned-vampire, who used to work for Speedwagon.
What?
That's pretty good, though. I convinced you, didn't I, huh?
You're a little fucker.
I am a little fucker. Alright, next one. Joseph goes through intense training in Europe and teams up with a Nazi named Stroheim to defeat the weakest of the beings in the statue.
Is that it?
That's it. Is it real or fake?
Shit. I'm gonna say that one's real?
Yes, he does. Stroheim has been described as the nicest Nazi because he doesn't actually show any Nazi stuff, except for he's...
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's like very German, and he does the Sieg Heil. It's pretty weird because you're like, oh yeah, good job, Stroheim, but then you remember, wait, he's a Nazi.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so there you go. After fighting with the beings in the statue, Joseph is left with the final being named Cars, who has basically become a demigod. Joseph is finally able to defeat them by channeling his grandfather Jonathan's fighting spirit into what is called a stand, which is able to match and best the being, sealing him back into the statue for another millennia. Is that true or false?
Fuck it. I guess.
You want me to say it again? Did you?
I was following along, but I still don't follow along. But sure, fuck it. I'm gonna say yeah.
Nope. He just shoots him into space using a volcano.
That one sounded so much more believable, though.
I know, right? No, stands don't come in until part 3.
Just like the trolls in Homestuck, you gotta wait for them.
Oh Oh, shit, dude, just like Homestuck. All right, part 3. Let's not talk about Homestuck anymore. Jotaro Kujo, or Kujo Jotaro, because it's in Japan now, is a surly high schooler. He locks himself in a prison after discovering he is being haunted by a ghost who is incredibly fast and strong, even being able to catch a bullet right out of a gun and save him. He was holding the gun up to his head, and then he shoots, but then the ghost caught the bullet before it could reach his head. Is that true or false?
He went to prison to hide from the ghost.
He went to prison to contain himself as a ghost was haunting him who was very fast and strong.
That's fake.
No, it's real.
It's not.
No, it is, unfortunately. The ghost is actually what is called a stand, and you'll learn more about that in a sec. So yes, he's a very angry little boy, and he says "yare yare daze" a lot, which it means like good grief, or at least that's how people always translate it in English. So that's kind of like a meme, is that if anything happens, he's just like "yare yare daze,"
He's
you know,
Charlie
because
Brown.
he's cool.
Good grief.
Yeah, he's good grief, exactly. All right. Jotaro learns that Dio has been reawakened, and the ghost is actually called a stand, which are manifestations of the stand user's fighting spirit. At first, he doesn't want to help his grandfather, Joseph Joestar, who, remember, was the Jojo from Part 2, fight Dio, but he learns that his mother, Joseph's daughter, is too weak to sustain her stand and is dying slowly. Jotaro relents and sets off on a journey to Egypt to defeat Dio. Is that true or false?
So wait, how did the other guy die again that's now the fighting spirit that's haunting this man?
Actually, the fighting, it's not Jonathan from he's the Jojo from Part 1. He was just killed by Dio. He's not haunting anybody. I just made that up. That was a lie, because I wanted to pull the rug out from under you, because I was introducing stands, and I was hoping that you'd be like, yeah, stands, I've heard of stands. That sounds like
You're fucking me up.
good. Anyway, so Jonathan has nothing to do with this.
Got it. Well, aside from all that, I think that sounds pretty plausible.
So are you saying it's real?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I guess.
Yeah, you're right. It's real. Okay.
Like, you're about to tell me, like, they got some dolphins with some shit out here to, like, shoot some motherfuckers into space or something.
Actually, Jotaro really, really, really likes dolphins, so it's funny that you would say that. In Part 4, he actually becomes a marine biologist. Is that true or false?
I predicted the next... What?
Is that true or false? Did he actually become a marine biologist who loves dolphins, or did I just make that up?
I think you're
true or
fucking
false?
with me.
Quickly. I am fucking with you.
Well, I love you.
I'm trying to get you off your game. I love you too.
It's working.
All right. And it's real, by the way. He is a marine biologist, and he fucking loves dolphins.
Wait, he does?
Yeah, he does. That's completely real.
Jeez, you're
All right.
throwing me off. Like, I don't even have any game, and you're just throwing me off. I'm blindfolded, and you're, like, kicking me.
I'm not gonna
You're
kick
shoving
you.
me over. I'm trying to pin the tail on the donkey, and you're, like, spitting on me.
Trying to pin a kiss on your lips. All right, ready for the next one?
Pin your ass on my dick. Let's go.
On the journey from Japan to Egypt, Jotaro and his crew face many users with many different stands, including a monkey on a boat, a living sword, an electric socket on a rock that magnetizes you when you touch it, 2 brothers named Oingo and Boingo, a gun, and a man who takes your soul if he beats you in a video game. Is that true or false?
I really want that to be true because I want there to be brothers named Oingo and Boingo.
Yeah, you're right. You're completely correct. All of that is completely correct.
Thank you.
There are 2 brothers, and they're called the Oingo Boingo brothers.
I love it.
Next one. This is a major spoiler, so if you want to not be spoiled for JoJo, skip to some, I don't know. You're fucking out of luck, pal. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. 2 major characters, Muhammad Avdal and Iggy the dog, are killed by a man named Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra's in this anime?
I don't know. Is he? You tell me.
I believe it.
That is actually incorrect. His name is Vanilla Ice.
What? Oh, that's the part that was false?
yeah. He's not Frank Sinatra. It's Vanilla Ice, and he was killed. They killed him, or they killed the 2 characters, Muhammad and Iggy, with a stand called Cream. So Vanilla Ice Cream. Pretty good,
So
right?
the rest of that was true. It's just the Vanilla Ice part.
Yeah, it wasn't Frank Sinatra. It was Vanilla Ice.
That's fucking... Is it real Vanilla Ice or is it just the anime guy's name?
It's not the rapper
Weak.
Vanilla Ice. It's just a guy who's named Vanilla Ice.
Well, when you said Frank Sinatra, I was picturing Frank Sinatra.
Jotaro defeats Dio's stand, the world, or Zawaruto, which has the ability to stop time for 5 seconds by setting a trap involving livestock, a broken watch, an electric fence, a spoiled breakfast, and a very, very angry cab driver. Is that true or false?
You MacGyvered it. That sounds pretty elaborate, and I don't know if you have the capacity to lie that intimately. I'll say sure.
True. So it's
Yes,
false?
I'm saying true. I'm saying true.
Oh, no, it's actually false. What he does is he just somehow learns to stop time out of nowhere and uses that to kill Dio, which is a pretty good plot point if you'd ask me.
You're
he just
throwing
kind of
me for such loops, Chase. I feel almost betrayed.
No, that's the point. Jojo's just fucking wacky, dude. Here we go on to part 4. You've done. Oh shit! Hang on. What's that? Hi. Hi. Hang on, I ordered food and it's here.
You're supposed to say moshi moshi.
What? Okay, I have my food.
Congratulations.
Now, wait, shit. Hang on. I'm not gonna eat this until we're done, so real quick, I'm gonna put a bottle of water on my fridge. I'm gonna fill it up with water. This is a life hack for you, because I get like technically cold water, but it's like half cold, half lukewarm. So I always put it in the fridge or the freezer so I can get cold water. Pretty smart, I know. Okay. Alright, I'm back. Hi.
Invest in a Brita filter.
Who's Brita? Josuke Higashikata, the newest Josuke, is introduced by permanently disfiguring a man who threw a turtle and insulted his hair, using his stand, Crazy Diamond. Is this true or false?
Sure.
Sure.
I think it sounds pretty liable. I've heard the Josuke's are a rowdy bunch.
You mean the Jojos?
Whatever the fuck.
True, yes, you're correct. It is true. Next, Jotaro comes to... he's the Jojo from the last one. He comes to town to investigate Josuke, who is the illegitimate child of Joseph, making the 16-year-old Josuke technically the uncle of the 28-year-old Jotaro. The two of them keep in contact and begin hunting down stand users in Josuke's hometown of Morio. Is this true or false?
I would say this sounds like a pretty sound scenario.
Well, hey, your judgment is pretty solid because it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
A man named Kira, who wants to live a quiet and peaceful life, is blowing women up with his stand killer queen. He is keeping their hands because he has a fetish for severed hands. His views, he views what he does as perfectly fine and refuses to leave Morio despite the fact that he is being investigated by Jotaro and Josuke. Is this true or false?
No thanks, I don't like that. I'm gonna say no. I don't think they would. You said a fetish for severed hands. No.
Actually, no, this is real, and he is the main antagonist. And
no.
yeah, and the main struggle is that he's just a serial killer. It's not like a gigantic, oh, if we don't kill Dio, he's gonna destroy the world. It's just this guy, he gets a boner from severed hands, and so he keeps killing women. So
what the fuck?
yeah, it's pretty good. Kira, after being chased into a corner by the two Jojos, uses a stand called Cinderella, it's another stand user's stand, to change his face completely, meaning the Jojos need to start over and track him down all over again. Meanwhile, he adopts the family of the man whose face he stole and grows more and more stressed as the days go by. His father uses a magic arrow to stab him and develop his stand further, which gives him a power called Bites the Dust, which allows him to kill anyone who finds out his identity, as well as turning back time an hour. Is this true or false?
No, that sounds a little too loaded. Too detailed.
Nope, it's correct.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it because it's another one bites the dust. It's another Queen song. Pretty
Wait,
good.
what?
Also,
all that shit you said was real?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay.
I know, right? For the record, Kira is modeled after David Bowie, which is an interesting little side note. So this entire time, just imagine David Bowie doing all these things.
Sexy.
Including the... Yeah. Alright, last one. Kira isn't killed by Josuke, but instead by the ambulance that comes to pick him up when he's bloodied on the street. His neck is snapped by the wheel. Is this true or false?
I'm just hoping that one's true, so I'll say yeah.
Yep, it's true. He's not killed by a Jojo. The the ambulance that's coming to save his life, like goes up to the wheel, and then like the last few seconds of Kira, we see him alive. His neck is like, or his head is like, and then before it like snaps completely, it just cuts away. So that's a pretty fun thing.
I love it.
Yeah, and you might notice from part 4, I didn't lie about anything because part 4 is just really wacky.
I didn't notice, so I'm glad you pointed that out.
I didn't keep track of how well you did, but I'm just gonna say you did a really good job because I love you and I like praising you. So good job, babe.
I don't think I was supposed to be grading this, but you did a really good job, and I was so distracted by how sexy your little avatar is.
My Gangnam, my Psy avatar?
Yeah, and then when he talks and my boyfriend's voice comes out, I'm just hypnotized.
Thanks, babe. I love you. Thank you for doing this with me.
Thanks for telling me about this wild anime chase. I don't think I will ever watch it.
You could say it's pretty bizarre.
You could say it was a little bit of an adventure. You could say a lot of the characters were named Joe.
You could say that, and it would be correct. All right.
I still think Jojo the Clown should be one of the JoJos. Okay, that's it.
You know, Jesus Christ of Nazareth is actually technically a JoJo within the canon.
Wait, really?